I said yes 5 times in 1 week. All 5 of them landed on the same Saturday. It started on a Monday, with a message I almost ignored. A man at work asked me to take his shift. Normally I would have said no. I say no quickly, and I say it a lot. But that morning I noticed something strange. I had said no to 3 people in 2 days. And I couldn't really explain why. So I made a rule for 1 week. I would say yes to everything. Not to be nice. I wanted to see what I was protecting. Monday was easy. I took the shift, and it cost me 2 hours. On Tuesday, Mr. Lee asked me to help him move a bookshelf. I said yes, and we talked for an hour about his old job. That yes felt good. On Wednesday, a woman from the running club invited me to a Saturday run. On Thursday, Emma asked me to her sister's birthday dinner. Also Saturday. And on Friday, my cousin Sam called me. He had a chess match at 3, and he wanted me there. He said, "You don't have to come." He says that when he really wants something. I said yes. By Friday night, my Saturday looked like a train timetable. Running club at 8 in the morning. Bookshelf at 10. Chess match at 3. Dinner at 7. I remember looking at that list and feeling proud. That is the strange part. I thought a full day meant a full life. Saturday started well. I ran, and I was slow, and everyone was kind about it. Then the bookshelf took 2 hours instead of 1. Then Mr. Lee made tea, and I couldn't leave in the middle of his story. At 2:30, I was still sitting on his sofa. I stood up too fast and knocked over my cup. I ran to the bus stop. The bus came at 3:10. I got to the chess club at 4:20. The room was empty except for 1 table. Sam was putting the pieces back into the box. He had won twice. I said sorry about 6 times. He said, "It's okay, it was only a match." Then he picked up his bag and asked me if I was going to the dinner. I said I was. He nodded, and he said, "Yeah, you had a busy day." "It's okay" is a sentence people use when it isn't. I went to the dinner anyway. I sat next to Emma and I said almost nothing. She asked me what was wrong. I told her I had said yes to 5 people that week. She thought about it for a moment. Then she said, "You said yes to 5 people, and Sam asked for 1 afternoon." That was the whole problem in 1 line. I had spent the week saying yes to everyone, so I had nothing left for the 1 person who really asked. On Sunday morning I called Sam. We played 4 games at his kitchen table, and he beat me in all 4. I still say yes more than I used to. That week taught me that much. But now I ask myself one question first. If I say yes to this, who am I quietly saying no to? 3 weeks later, I found an envelope on my table that had been there for 23 days. I knew exactly what was inside it. It was a form from the community center. In September, they wanted to open a small evening class for beginners. Someone had told them that I might help. All I had to do was fill in 1 page and send it back. 1 page. They gave me 30 days. I opened the envelope on the first day, read it twice, and put it down. Then I did nothing for 3 weeks. That is the part one still find hard to explain. I wanted the class. I thought about it every day. But every time I sat down at that table, I found something else to do. On the second Tuesday, I cleaned the inside of my oven. It was 11 at night. Nobody cleans an oven at 11 at night because the oven is dirty. By day 23, the envelope had a coffee ring on it. I told Emma about it on the phone. She asked me one simple question. She said, "How long would it actually take?" I said maybe an hour. She said, "So you have spent 23 days protecting 1 hour." I laughed, and then I stopped laughing. The next evening I tried something small. I put my phone in the other room. I set a timer for 10 minutes. My rule was simple. I had to work on the form until the timer rang, and then I was allowed to stop. That was the whole trick. 10 minutes is too short to be frightening. The first 2 minutes were terrible. I read the same line 4 times. Then I wrote my name, and my address, and the days I was free. There was one box near the bottom of the page. It asked why I wanted to teach the class. That box was the real reason for the 23 days. I sat with it for a while. Then I wrote 3 sentences about my first English teacher. I wrote about how slowly she spoke, and how much that helped me. The timer rang while I was still writing. I didn't stop. I finished the form 19 minutes after I started. 19 minutes. I had been afraid of it for 23 days. I walked to the post box that night, because I didn't trust the morning version of me. The class started in September. 9 people came to the first evening, and 2 of them came every single week after that. Now I keep a small timer on my kitchen table. It isn't a magic object. It just makes the first 10 minutes smaller than my fear of them. Because the work was never the heavy part. The waiting was. In October my bus card ran out, and I decided not to buy a new one. It wasn't a plan at first. I only wanted to see how bad it would be. My flat is 50 minutes from work on foot. The bus takes 18. So I was choosing to lose more than an hour of my day. The first week was miserable, and I want to be honest about that. It rained on Tuesday, and my shoes were still wet on Thursday. On Wednesday I was 11 minutes late, and I had to explain why. By Friday I had a blister on my left foot and a very low opinion of my own idea. But something changed in the second week. I started leaving the flat earlier. And once I wasn't rushing, I started looking up. There is a blue door on Carter Street with a number 7 painted by hand. There is a bakery that puts its bread in the window at 8:10. There is a man who waters the plants on his balcony and says good morning to everyone below him. I had passed that street on a bus for 3 years. I couldn't have told you one thing about it. On the 19th day, it started raining hard. I stopped under a narrow shop front to wait. The window was full of clocks. All of them showed a different time, which felt right somehow. An old man opened the door and told me to come inside. Because the rain was coming sideways. His name was Tomas. He had repaired watches in that shop for 41 years. We talked while the rain hit the window. Then I remembered something in my coat pocket. My watch had stopped almost a year ago. I had carried it around for a few weeks, and then I left it in a drawer. I had told myself it was probably broken, and probably expensive, and probably not worth it. I gave it to Tomas. He opened the back of it, looked inside for a moment, and blew the dust out. Then he cleaned 2 small parts with a fine brush. It took him 4 minutes. It had been stopped for a year, and it needed 4 minutes. I walked home wearing it. I could hear it ticking, which sounds ridiculous, but I could. I never bought the new bus card. Some mornings I still take the bus, when it's cold or when I'm late. But now I choose slow on purpose. Slow gave me back a street, a bakery, a blue door, and a watch that works. The bus was never the problem. I was just moving too fast to see any of it. So those are 3 small experiments from one strange autumn. A week of saying yes, an envelope I was afraid of, and a month of walking. None of them changed my life. They just showed me the same thing 3 times. The thing I keep avoiding is almost always smaller than my picture of it. You've been listening to Slow English Listening. If this story helped you, please subscribe and turn on notifications. There's another story waiting for you, called The Bus Left Without Me. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.